Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you the easiest way for you to take your own self-portraits using your phone. And there's one app in particular. I'm going to share it with you and show you how it works so that you can create your own self-portraits. And I really firmly believe in the power and the value and the transformative experience that self-portraits give you. The way I perceive self-portraits is not in the Instagram definition of selfies that are kind of vacuous and with that kind of vanity aspect of it. But the way that I look at self-portraits is that they can be a transformative tool for you. They can help you see yourself in a different way and help you redefine who you are. How we identify ourselves is how we show up in the world, and seeing photos of yourself, taking photos of yourself and expressing your true self through a photo is one of the most transformative ways that you can begin to truly know who you are and start stepping into alignment with who you know you are on the inside and reflecting that on the outside. I like to call them embodiment self-portraits or experimental self-portraits, because in the self-portrait creative process there is a lot of experimentation, and in order for us to get comfortable with who we are, what we look like, our appearance, sharing all of that in the name of personal growth, we need to experiment and play and be creative and be willing to take a lot of bad photos in the name of finding the photos that really do align with how we see ourselves and how we want to see ourselves and how we want to project ourselves. So if part of your personal growth process involves navigating and experimenting with self-portraiture, I want to show you how easy it can be with one simple app. It doesn't matter what device you're on, whether it's Apple or Android. With this one app, you can really go to town on getting creative with your own self-portraits and almost turn this into a therapeutic process. Think of it as journaling in digital format or journaling through visual format. So if you're ready, let's get into it. So the app in question is the CLOS app, and if you've been around my channel for any length of time, then you will have seen that in the past I used to do remote photo shoots. You can watch that video over here, and I used the CLOS app to do those remote photo shoots. But over time, they've really grown this app, developed it into something far more useful. Not everybody is a professional photographer, and so they don't need to do remote photo shoots. But there's a feature on the CLOS app that they have now included, which makes this a great app for our self-portrait exploration. So this is a subscription app. You will need to subscribe to be able to use it, but they do have a 7-day trial that you can try out to start with and see if this is something that you want to invest in. And I highly recommend that if you are really invested in your own personal growth and self-portraiture is part of that personal growth process, then it's a worthwhile subscription. So when you open up the app, you can see that you've got a view gallery, start AI cam, or remote shooting. If you're doing remote photo shoots, if you're a professional photographer, then you would click remote shooting. If you want to see past photo shoots that you've done, then you would click view gallery. And if you're starting a new photo shoot, like I am now, then you would click start AI cam. And this is where the exciting bit comes in. So once you go into start AI cam, you can see that you've got options just above the shutter button. You've got the RAW or JPEG option. If you're not going to do a lot of post-production editing, then you can just go ahead and use the JPEG option. If, however, you want to edit your photos after the fact and you need a bit more detail in the photo to be able to edit it nicely, then you definitely want to shoot RAW. Just bear in mind that RAW files will be a lot bigger than JPEG and so will take up more space on your phone. You can then choose whether or not you want the flash on or off. I'm going to keep it off in this regard, and then you can see that it does have the option for zooming in and zooming out. You can see that you can change to the back-facing camera if you want to. Back camera on your phone is always going to be higher quality, so I highly recommend shooting that way. And this is where the true power of this app comes in. Instead of having your selfie camera where you're seeing yourself, the compromise of seeing yourself on the selfie camera is that the image quality will be reduced, because generally the selfie camera is a much lower spec than the back of the phone camera. So that's where the true power of this AI cam comes in, because you don't need to see your selfie cam. You don't need to see yourself on the camera to be able to take photos, because the app is going to do that all for you. So that's where you get to use the back camera on your phone as opposed to the selfie camera. And then you can see that you've got the options for face, body, and photo. So depending on the type of portrait that you want to create, you're going to either choose face or body, and then you're going to let the AI camera shoot and do the photos for you. If, however, you want to manually click the shutter button, then you would put it on photo, and then it will require you clicking the shutter button. But in the interest of this being a self-portrait session where you're wanting to move around, you're wanting to get the best possible quality out of the phone, so you want to use this back camera, you're going to choose either the face or the body setting so that the camera takes the photos for you and you don't have to worry about hitting the shutter button. So I'm going to choose face for now and set it up on my tripod. So what you will see happening is that depending on which one you've chosen, face or body, once you hit the shutter button, then the camera is just going to go and start taking photos. So I'm going to put it in place. I'm going to position myself, and the app is going to wait until it sees my face before it takes a photo. So if I hide, you see that it doesn't take a photo. But if I show my face, then you can see that it takes a photo. And if I hide, it stops taking a photo. And I show my face, and it takes a photo. So it's essentially having your own kind of photographer clicking away on your camera, and you can just vogue it until you feel like you've got enough shots. Let's see if that worked. It stopped that one and put it on body. Okay, now it's going to shoot when it sees my body. Don't know why. So it's more kind of let's do horizontal, and we're going to look for face. Let's see how that went. Did we get any? Yeah. There we go, I like that. So you can see some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them are blurred because the lighting conditions in here are not great. So take your time with it, and like I said, you've got to experiment and see which ones work and which ones don't, and just keep moving with it, knowing that the app is taking photos every time it tracks that there's a face in the shot. Not bad, not bad. And when you come back here, you can see that you can obviously, come back and play with the framing a little bit. I want to do some without my face in the shot. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's do a little bit wider. Okay, and we're going with body. So it's going to keep shooting all the way once it sees a body. Okay, let's see if any of those worked. So as you can see, there's a lot of experimentation and willingness to experiment. Not all the photos are going to work out. Your lighting conditions obviously play a role, And depending on your lighting, you may need to hold the poses a bit longer. The framing, you need to be conscious of having your feet not cut off. But somewhere in there, I'm sure there's a photo that we can use. Yep, that's a nice one, like that, very cool. Oh, here we go. We've got our feet in the shot, like that. Feet look big. And this is a great way of seeing, which parts of yourself, which body parts you want to emphasize or de-emphasize, because this is such a personal experience and such a personal process that it's not a one-size-fits-all. Not all bodies are the same. We don't all have the same parts that we like about ourselves. So this is part of the experimentation where you get to see what works and what doesn't work and refine as you see the results of the photos that you've taken. And it's probably best to hold each position for about 2 to 3 seconds at a minimum. I remember my feet, when I had my position there, my feet were too big, so I don't like that pose. So I'm going to be mindful of keeping them this way. When I did this pose, I was mindful that my hand over here was not so great, so I'm going to pull it back there. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Yeah. Oh, I like some of these. Cool. So what you'll have to do obviously here is just make sure that you have ample space on your phone, because as you can see, it takes a lot of photos, and while you're there, it's snapping away. So yeah, I'm gonna go through these. I'll hop on over to my laptop now to do a proper scan of what these images look like, maybe do a couple of tweaks, and if any of them turn out half decent, here they are. I hope you found this valuable. Please let me know if you did, if this was a good tutorial, if you enjoyed this, and if you've actually tried the CLOS app and the AI cam for your own experimental embodiment self-portraits, and how did they go for you? How did it change the way that you see yourself, or how did it change the way that you take photos of yourself? I'd love to hear, let me know in the comments down below. And if you'd like more tutorials around self-portraiture, examples, inspiration, or if you're on a journey of self-discovery and you'd like more information about your personal archetype, personality profiling, let me know in the comments down below, and go and check out this free quiz where you can find out what your dominant archetype is. Until the next video, keep exploring, expanding, and expressing yourself.